So acne scarring is a very common problem that we see here at Eudelo. And we often see patients that have had a lot of other treatments already without much success. So they might have tried home treatments, they might have seen other practitioners already for various treatments, and they often come and see us very disappointed with the previous results, and they're hoping that we can finally change something. And usually we can, that's the good news. So what we need for treating scarring is often a combination treatment. So we want to combine different treatments that work together in concert to really have the best clinical outcome. I have done extensive research into different treatment forms for acne scarring, and I have assembled a system that we use here at Eudelo where we combine different treatment modalities. And every patient receives their tailored combination treatment. And these treatments might contain, for example, a laser treatment, PRP needling or exocrine needling, subcisions, sometimes with placement of hyaluronic acid underneath, carboxytherapy, or TCA cross, for example. So all of these treatments are available at Eudelo, and we will tailor an individualized regime for each patient. PRP needling is a combination of two types of treatment. First of all, we take some blood from the patient's inner elbow. We then place this blood in a centrifuge, and then there is a certain technique to extract that fraction of the patient's blood that contains platelets. And the reason we do that is because platelets are very rich in growth factors. So we extract the section that's richest in growth factors, and then we needle this growth factor solution back into the patient's skin. The needling happens because with the medical needling we create thousands of tiny little punctures in the skin that trick the skin into thinking that there are thousands of wounds to repair. Of course there aren't, because those tiny punctures, they close immediately again, but your skin responds to this trigger with producing more collagen and elastin, remodeling itself, and ultimately remodeling the scarring as well. While we are doing the needling, we use the growth factor solution that comes from the patient's own blood. So it's a very, very natural solution, and we needle it into the skin while we're doing the procedure. So that further boosts the collagen and elastin production in the skin, and you will ultimately get better results and a better outcome. As an alternative to using PRP, we may use exocrine. Exocrine is a similar growth factor rich solution that we get from the patient's blood, but the difference is that after taking the blood, we put the blood into an incubator. So there the blood is heated for 6 hours, and that stresses the cells. And the response of these cells is that they produce much more growth factors. So we then spin the blood down after 6 hours. We harvest the growth factors not only from platelets, but from all sorts of cells in the blood. So that's including the white cells and the red cells and the platelets. And we then filter out all of those cells. So we've got a solution that's very, very high in growth factors without anything else in it.
Carboxytherapy works through the injection of tiny amounts of CO2 gas into your skin using very fine needle. The superficial injections trick your skin into thinking it's oxygen starved, so it then responds with increased microcirculation, bringing more nutrients and oxygen to the treated area. Collagen stimulation and regeneration, it needs to be applied very specifically to the dermis area. This might be very different to what other clinics may do, which we believe is one of the main reasons for our superior results.
Subcision is a type of treatment that we use for acne scarring where there is a fibrous tethering under the scar. So it's basically a tissue that pulls the scar down, and we have to release this tissue to be able to release the scarring. Sometimes we do that with a needle, sometimes we do it with air pressure, and sometimes we add a little bit of hyaluronic acid underneath the released scar so it doesn't attach again. For subcisions, we disinfect the skin surface first, and then we use a very fine needle that loosens the fibrous strands that pull down the depressed acne scarring. So once we've released that fibrous band, the depressed scar can then come up, and this will create a more smooth-looking skin surface.
Clearlift is an amazing regenerative procedure that is also known as Hollywood facelift. It offers great benefits of skin rejuvenation, tightening and reduction of pigment with zero downtime. We use Q-switched Nd:YAG technology that emits short but very powerful bursts of light that reaches underneath the skin and is then transformed into acoustic sound waves that then create microscopic punctures in your dermis, but without any damage to the outer layers of the skin. This then causes your skin to repair and regenerate itself by producing more collagen, elastin, and breaking down unwanted pigment. The treatment is suitable for all skin types. It can be used all over the face, neck, décolletage, and hands. It is also excellent to treat fragile, sensitive skin around your eyes and lips, which might be too sensitive for other treatments. For optimal results, we do recommend a course of 6 treatments, 2 weeks apart.
So I had suffered with bad skin for a number of years. I decided that in my late 20s I really wanted to do something about this. So I researched online for the best dermatologists in London, and thankfully Eudelo came up. I booked in for a discovery consultation where I met Mina. She advised me on the best treatment plan, and that was the beginning of my journey. So when I first initially came, I was treating my acne. So I had a treatment of dermatology graded facials. I then went to more rejuvenating, which was PRP. I had mesotherapy, laser. I've also tried their Ultralift, which was probably one of my favorite treatments, where I saw a huge difference to the tone, texture, uplift. The service at Eudelo exceeded my expectations, from the warm welcome at the reception to meeting my dermatologist for the first time, who really made me feel at complete ease. She listened to everything that I had to say, and I felt like I was in great hands. Coming to Eudelo was one of the best decisions I could have ever made in my life, from my career to, you know, everyday happiness. Like, I look in the mirror and my skin just looks so beaming and glowing. I mean, I even have people come up to me asking me, "Gemma, you look so well, what have you been doing?" And I'm just like, you need to go to Eudelo.
Unfortunately, there isn't one type of treatment that can solve all scarring issues. We need to look at the type of scarring and then decide which treatment, or usually which combination of treatments, would be ideal for this type of scarring. Here at Eudelo, we are experts at combining different treatments into treatment packages, and that means that the problem is addressed from different angles, ultimately to the best cosmetic outcome for the patient.